Hello everybody. Today we are going to talk about something that sparkles, something that shines. We are talking about jewelry. But this isn't just any story. This is the secret history of American jewelry. It starts long before the bright lights of Hollywood. It starts with the land itself. The very first jewelers in America were the Native American peoples. They saw beauty all around them. They found it in the earth, in the water, and in the sky. Their jewelry was not just for decoration. It was a story. It was a prayer. It was a connection to their world and their ancestors. Every piece told a powerful tale of who they were. What did they use to make these beautiful pieces? They used what nature gave them. Think about the stunning turquoise stones from the Southwest. These stones looked like pieces of the sky captured in rock. They were treasured. They were sacred. Native Americans in the plains used bones and teeth from powerful animals like bears and eagles. This jewelry showed strength and respect for nature. Along the coasts, people gathered shells. They polished them until they shone like pearls. They would string them together into beautiful necklaces called wampum. These were not just jewelry. They were also used for trade and to record important events. Look at the amazing craftsmanship. Each piece was made by hand. It took so much time and patience. Imagine a Navajo artist carefully setting a piece of turquoise into a silver cuff. That silver often came from coins that they got from trading with settlers. They would melt down these coins to create something new, something that was uniquely their own. This was a way of taking an object from another culture and making it part of their own story. It was a symbol of survival. It was a symbol of incredible creativity. They transformed simple materials into works of art that are still admired today. This jewelry was deeply spiritual. It was not just about looking good. It was about feeling connected. A necklace might be worn for protection. A bracelet could be a sign of a person's role in the community. Earrings might be part of a sacred ceremony. When you see a piece of authentic Native American jewelry, you are not just seeing a pretty object. You are seeing a piece of history. You are seeing a connection to the land. You are seeing a tradition that has been passed down through generations, and that, my friends, is a beautiful thing. It is the true beginning of our American story in jewelry. Now, let's travel forward in time. Let's picture the first European settlers arriving in America. They came on big ships, carrying their hopes and dreams, and some of them also carried their jewelry. In those early colonial days, life was hard. People were focused on building homes and planting food. There wasn't a lot of time for fancy things, but jewelry was still important. It was a link to the life they had left behind in Europe. A simple gold locket or a string of pearls was a reminder of family. It was a piece of their old home in a new, wild land. For the early colonists, jewelry was also a sign of wealth and status, but it was often worn in a very private way. A wealthy merchant's wife might have a beautiful gold ring, but she might only wear it on special occasions. The Puritans, who were very religious, were suspicious of too much decoration. They believed in a simple life. However, even they had some jewelry. It was just very plain. Think of simple silver buckles for their shoes, or a functional silver thimble for sewing. These items were useful, but they also had a quiet beauty. They showed that even in a simple life, people find a way to express themselves. Something very special and unique to this time was mourning jewelry. This might sound sad, but it was actually a beautiful tradition. When someone passed away, their loved ones would have a piece of jewelry made to remember them. These were often rings or brooches. They might have the person's name and the date they died engraved on them. Sometimes they even had a tiny lock of the person's hair woven into the design. This was a way to keep a loved one close. It was a very personal and heartfelt way to grieve. It tells us so much about how people in the past dealt with loss and love. Most of the jewelry in colonial America was either brought from Europe or made by local craftsmen. These craftsmen were very skilled. They were silversmiths and goldsmiths. One of the most famous was Paul Revere. Yes, the same Paul Revere who made that famous midnight ride. Before he was a revolutionary hero, he was one of the finest silversmiths in Boston. He made beautiful silver teapots, spoons, and yes, jewelry. His work was elegant and simple. It was the perfect reflection of the new American identity that was beginning to form. It was strong, it was practical, and it was beautiful. Then, everything changed. One word echoed across the country. It was a word that made people leave their homes and families. It was a word that promised instant wealth and a new life. That word was gold. The California gold rush began in 1848. It was like a fever that swept the nation. Thousands of people, called 49ers, rushed to California. They dreamed of finding mountains of gold. This discovery of massive amounts of gold in America had a huge impact on everything, and it especially changed the world of jewelry. Suddenly, America had its own supply of this precious, beautiful metal. Before the gold rush, most of the gold in America was imported. That made it very expensive and rare. But now, gold was coming right out of American soil. This meant that more people could afford to own gold jewelry. It was no longer just for the very rich. A successful miner might celebrate his luck by having a huge, heavy gold nugget turned into a watch fob. A shop owner in San Francisco could buy his wife a beautiful pair of gold earrings. Gold became a symbol of the American West. It was a symbol of adventure, risk, and the incredible luck of this new nation. This new supply of gold and silver created a whole new style of American jewelry. It was big, it was bold, it was loud. Think about the Victorian era that was happening at the same time. The jewelry was very elaborate and full of meaning. American jewelers took these ideas and made them bigger. They used the new gold and silver coming from mines in places like Nevada, which had the famous Comstock Lode silver discovery. They created large lockets, heavy chains, and intricate brooches. This jewelry was a way to show off your new wealth. It said, "I came to this country with nothing, and look at me now." The gold and silver rushes also sparked innovation. Jewelers and craftsmen had to come up with new ways to work with all this metal. They developed new techniques for creating jewelry. They also started to use other American gems that were being discovered. They used sapphires from Montana and tourmalines from Maine. This was the beginning of a truly American style. It was a style that was born from the land itself. It was a style that was fueled by the dreams of ordinary people. The gold rush didn't just build cities. It built a new identity for American jewelry, an identity that was as bold and hopeful as the country itself. With all this new gold and silver, the time was right for something big to happen, and it did. The late 19th and early 20th centuries saw the rise of legendary American jewelry houses. These were the names that would become famous all over the world. The most famous of them all? Tiffany & Co. Yes, that Tiffany's. Charles Lewis. Tiffany opened his store in New York City in 1837. He had a vision. He wanted to create jewelry that was not just beautiful, but that had the highest quality. He wanted to create an American style that could rival the old houses of Europe. And oh, did he succeed! Tiffany's became known for its incredible diamonds. In 1878, the company acquired the famous Tiffany diamond. It was a massive, brilliant yellow diamond. It became a symbol of the company's excellence. Tiffany's also introduced the Tiffany setting. This is the classic six-prong setting for an engagement ring that you see everywhere today. It was designed to lift the diamond up, so it could catch the most light. It made the diamond the star of the show. This one invention changed engagement rings forever. It helped make the diamond engagement ring an American tradition. It was pure genius. But Tiffany's wasn't alone. Other amazing American jewelers were making their mark. There was Harry Winston, who became known as the King of Diamonds. He handled some of the most famous gems in the world, including the Hope Diamond. He believed that the gems themselves should guide the design of the jewelry. His pieces were all about showing off the incredible beauty of the stones. Then, there was Cartier. Although it started in Paris, Cartier opened a store in New York in 1909. It quickly created a style that was perfect for the new, modern American woman. Its designs were sleek and elegant. These jewelry houses did more than just sell beautiful things. They helped to define the American dream. Their stores were like palaces of light and sparkle. Their blue boxes and red boxes became symbols of luxury and romance. They were featured in movies and books. Think of Audrey Hepburn and Breakfast at Tiffany's. These brands became part of our culture. They showed the world that America could produce things of incredible beauty and lasting quality. They weren't just jewelers. They were artists. They were innovators. They were American icons. And their legacy continues to shine brightly today. As we moved into the 20th century, another big change happened. It was the idea that beautiful things should not just be for the rich. Everyone deserves to sparkle a little. This led to the rise of something called costume jewelry. This was jewelry made from less expensive materials. Instead of diamonds, it might use glass or crystal. Instead of gold, it might use plated metals. But it was designed to look just as fabulous. Designers like Coco Chanel made costume jewelry fashionable, She would mix her fake pearls with real ones. It was a revolutionary idea. This new kind of jewelry was perfect for the changing times. The world was becoming faster. Fashions were changing more quickly. Women were entering the workforce. They wanted jewelry that was fun and affordable. They wanted to be able to change their look without spending a fortune. Costume jewelry allowed them to do that. They could have a different necklace for every outfit. They could express their personality through their accessories. It was a new kind of freedom. It was the democratization of style. Everyone could get in on the fun. Then came mass production. Factories could now produce thousands of identical pieces of jewelry very quickly. This made jewelry even more affordable and accessible. You could go to a department store like Sears or Montgomery Ward and buy a pretty necklace or a pair of earrings from a catalog. This was a huge deal for people living in small towns all over America. It meant that you didn't have to live in New York City to have access to the latest styles. This mass production also created a new desire for something unique. It led to the trend of personalization. Personalization became the new luxury. People wanted jewelry that told their own story. Think about the classic nameplate necklace, or a charm bracelet, where every charm represents a special memory. This is jewelry that is all about you. It's about your life, your loves, and your journey. With new technology, it became easier to create custom pieces. You could have your initials engraved on a ring. You could design your own engagement ring online. This trend shows that even in a world of mass production, we all want to feel special. We want our jewelry to be more than just an accessory. We want it to be a part of us. In the late 20th century, a new sound was born in the streets of the Bronx. It was hip-hop. And with this new music came a bold new style. It was a style that was loud, proud, and honestly, unapologetic. And at the heart of this style was jewelry. But this was not your grandmother's string of pearls. This was something completely new. This was bling. The term bling itself actually mimics the sound of light reflecting off a diamond. It's the sound of success. It's the sound of making it against all odds. And it became a worldwide phenomenon. Hip-hop artists used jewelry to tell their stories. Many of these artists came from humble beginnings. They had overcome poverty and hardship. For them, jewelry was a powerful symbol. It was a trophy. It said, "I made it." They wore massive gold chains, called dookie ropes. They wore huge rings on every finger, known as four-finger rings. And they wore large, elaborate pendants with their names or logos. These pieces were often covered in diamonds. They were designed to be seen. They were designed to make a statement. They were a visual representation of the artist's success and power. This was not just about showing off wealth. It was about creating a new kind of status symbol. It was a way of challenging the old ideas of what classy jewelry looked like. Hip-hop culture took the idea of luxury and remixed it. They made it their own. Jewelers in places like Jacob the Jeweler Arabo became famous for creating these incredible over-the-top pieces. They became the Tiffany's and Cartiers for the hip-hop generation. Their creations were works of art. They were bold, innovative, and full of swagger. They perfectly captured the spirit of the music. The influence of bling has been huge. It has crossed over from hip-hop into mainstream culture. You see it on athletes, actors, and pop stars. You see it in high-fashion magazines and on runways in Paris. The big, bold style of bling has influenced jewelry design everywhere. It brought back yellow gold in a big way. It made diamonds popular for men's jewelry. It proved that jewelry could be fun, expressive, and even have a sense of humor. Bling is a uniquely American story. It's a story of creativity, entrepreneurship, and the power of self-expression. And honestly, it's a story that continues to shine. When you really think about it, what is jewelry? It's more than just pretty rocks and shiny metal. In America, jewelry has always been deeply connected to our biggest idea, the American dream. What is that dream? It's the belief that no matter who you are or where you come from, you can achieve success. You can build a better life for yourself and your family. And so often, we have used jewelry to mark the milestones of that journey. It is the physical proof that the dream is coming true. Think about the immigrant who comes to America with nothing. They work hard for years. They save their money. One day, they are able to buy a small gold cross to wear around their neck. That cross is not just a piece of jewelry. It is a symbol of their faith. It is a symbol of their hard work. It is a symbol of their arrival. Or think about the college graduate. They get their first real job. With their first paycheck, Maybe they buy a simple, elegant watch. That watch is a symbol of their accomplishment. It is a symbol of their entry into the professional world. It is a promise of the future. Jewelry also becomes a way we show our status. Now this isn't a bad thing. It's human nature. We want to show the world that we have succeeded. In the Gilded Age, the new millionaires built huge mansions, and their wives wore enormous diamond tiaras. This was their way of saying, "We have arrived." In the hip-hop world, the heavy gold chains say the same thing. It's a universal language. The specific style may change, but the message is the same. Jewelry becomes the uniform of success. It is a way to celebrate your journey from the bottom to the top. But jewelry in America is also about freedom. It is about the freedom to be who you want to be. You can wear a tiny, delicate necklace, or you can wear a giant, flashy ring. You can wear jewelry that whispers, or you can wear jewelry that shouts. There are no rules. This freedom of expression is a core part of the American identity. Our jewelry reflects our diversity. It reflects our individuality. From a Native American turquoise bracelet to a rapper's diamond grill, each piece tells a story of a uniquely American dream. It is the story of a nation of individuals, all shining in their own way. Okay, so we've been on this incredible journey through the history of American jewelry, but I want to share some fun, surprising facts with you. These are the little secret stories that make this history even more fascinating. Did you know, for example, that the first diamond ever discovered in the United States was found by a little boy? It's true. In 1855, a boy named Punch Jones was playing in his yard in West Virginia. He found a pretty shiny stone. His family used it as a doorstop for years. It wasn't until much later that it was identified as a 34-carat diamond. Here's another one for you. We talked about Paul Revere, the silversmith. But did you know he was also a dentist? Well, sort of. He made false teeth for his clients. He would wire them into place using silver or gold wire. He even advertised his skills in a Boston newspaper. So, the man who warned us the British were coming could also fix your smile. It just shows how versatile craftsmen had to be in those early days. They had to be able to do a little bit of everything. Let's talk about wedding rings. The tradition of a man wearing a wedding band is actually pretty new in America. Before World War II, it was mostly just women who wore them. But during the war, many soldiers started wearing wedding rings. It was a way for them to feel connected to their wives back home. It was a constant reminder of the love they were fighting for. After the war, the tradition stuck. The famous actor Humphrey Bogart wore his wedding ring on his pinky finger. This small act by thousands of soldiers completely changed an American tradition. And how about this? We think of diamonds as being the ultimate engagement stone, but that's because of one of the most successful advertising campaigns in history. In the 1930s, diamond sales were low. So, the De Beers Diamond Company hired an advertising agency. They came up with the slogan, "A diamond is forever." They started placing diamonds in movies and on the hands of celebrities. They linked diamonds with love, romance, and eternity. And it worked. They created a tradition that feels ancient, but is really less than 100 years old. It just goes to show the power of a good story. So, we come to the end of our journey. What have we learned? We've learned that the story of American jewelry is the story of America itself. It is a story of nature and craftsmanship. It is a story of risk and reward. It is a story of revolution and innovation. It is a story of making it big and staying true to yourself. From the first shell necklaces on an ancient shore to the latest three-dimensional printed designs, jewelry has been with us every step of the way. It is a thread that runs through our entire history, connecting us all. Think about the jewelry in your own life. Maybe it's the wedding ring on your finger. It's a circle with no beginning and no end. It represents a promise you made. Maybe it's a pair of earrings your mother gave you on your graduation day. When you wear them, you remember her pride and her love. Maybe it's a silly plastic bracelet your child made for you. You wouldn't trade it for all the diamonds in the world. This is the real power of jewelry. It holds our memories. It contains our emotions. It tells the story of our lives. Jewelry connects us to the people we love. It connects us to our past, to our ancestors. A locket with a picture of your great-grandmother. A watch passed down from your father. These pieces carry the energy of the people who wore them before us. When we wear them, we are not alone. We are carrying their stories with us. And one day, we will pass these pieces on to the next generation. We will add our own chapter to the story. This is how we create a family legacy. This is how we stay connected through time. So, the next time you put on a piece of jewelry, I want you to think about its story. Where did it come from? Who made it? What does it mean to you? It's not just an accessory. It's not just bling. It is a piece of your personal history. It is a piece of our shared American history. And it is a reminder that in every life, there is something that deserves to shine, something that deserves to be celebrated. And that, my friends, is a story worth telling. Thank you for joining me on this sparkling journey.